Optimum time to get the sun star, because I'm going to go down closer to the waterfall, so not having light on the water is actually going to help because it's going to reduce glare. I'm using this cascade just here as kind of the foreground interest. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again. So my plans changed today. Originally I was going to go and check out a brand new location, somewhere I'd never been to before, but I only really had sort of 2 or 3 hours, probably 2.5 hours before we were going to be heading up to sunset, and the location that I was going to go and check out, I think it needs longer than that. I think I need maybe the best part of a day there to really explore and find the possibilities for compositions. So instead, kind of last minute, I decided to come here back to the dam at Elche, where the water is in full flow across the dam. The last time I was here I think was probably around May, so springtime. It's now nearly the end of December, or certainly moving on to the end of December, and I thought I'd come and check it out, see what it was like. We've got a bit of cloud around, but it's high cloud, not as much as I was hoping, but we could be in for a colourful sunset, I don't know. And what I want to do is have a little wander around, check out some possible compositions, and then set up for a shot. It's about 1.5 hours before sunset. If I want the sun in the scene, I'm probably going to have to shoot a bit earlier than that because of the nearby mountains. Anyway, let's get checking things out. So one possible composition here is from down here near to the base of the dam. The option really is to use the water that's kind of here running up, and then the big cascade up there. Now that is a composition that I've done before, but the conditions were somewhat different to today. It was mid-afternoon and a lot more cloud. So maybe somewhere around sunset that might look quite nice. But I want to explore some other options first. The second option is to shoot from a bit further up. There's a little ledge that you can stand on, brings you up sort of a bit more level with the dam. There's some quite nice cascades just here, and then the rest of the dam curves around, and the sun's actually just disappearing over there. So once that sun's gone, this will be in a bit more shadow, we'll avoid all that glare, which could be so much of a problem. It's another possibility, but I also want to go up to the top of the dam and see if there's a shot up there before I decide. Okay, definitely some work's been going on here. Unfortunately you can't get out onto the top of the dam There's a gate here which is securely padlocked, which means I don't think there's a composition along here that I really want to do. But that's okay, I think I'll choose one of the others anyway. What I have noticed, however, is that I have been up here before, I just couldn't remember what it was like. But I do know that there's a new addition up here, which is some kind of bridge that they've put along, which I'm guessing joins this part of the trail with the part that's further along the reservoir, which you couldn't do before. Well, you could, but I think you had to like climb climb up a load of rocks to get there. So I'm just going to have a quick look along there and see what's there. I'm not going to go too far. That may be a trip for another day, but we'll have a quick look and see. So on my way back down from the top of the dam, I found a shot that I think is worth taking in the next few minutes. Basically the sun is just about to dip below some mountains or hills out in the distance. And when it does, it will be partially obscured and that will take the glare out of the scene. I'm up high with a view down onto the base of the dam. There's a kind of a fenced walkway that goes down in front of me. Then there's the bottom of the dam, there's some foliage over on the left hand side. The dam sweeps around with the water coming down, and then you've got the hills in the background, the sun dipping down, hopefully just below the hills, and then a little bit of cloud in the sky, thin cloud, which might look interesting. It'll only work once that sun dips down low enough that we get the glare off of the scene, otherwise it's just going to put flare on the lens. I've got a 3-stop hard-edged ND grad on because that sky is really bright and it will continue to be bright even when the sun starts to dip down, and a 6-stop ND filter so that I can slow the exposure down. I've gone to f16 because I'm hoping to get a sun star as that sun dips down below the mountain or the hill, and at ISO 64 that's a 3-second exposure. That might change a little bit as that sun drops. Now it's just a case of waiting for the sun. So the sun is just disappearing now. Optimum time to get the sun star. Just a few more seconds to wait, I think. There goes the sun now. That cloud pattern looks really quite interesting. This might make for a nice image. Okay, so the sun has now disappeared from here, so I think that shot is now done. I took 3 or 4 shots there just as the sun was dipping down, just to see if one timing worked better than another. But hopefully we'll have an interesting shot there. And now I'm going to go down and set up for a second composition. We've still got about 40 minutes until official sunset, although the actual light will now have gone off of the scene, but that's okay because I'm going to go down closer to the waterfall, so not having light on the water is actually going to help because it's going to reduce glare. But I'm hoping that I can get some sky in there and the sky is going to light up either at or shortly after sunset. We'll have to see. Okay, so I'm back down to this location, which is kind of part way up the side of the dam near to the waterfall, and I've set up a composition I'm using this cascade just here as kind of the foreground interest. The dam then sweeps around and then we go up to hopefully quite a pretty sky. We're still 25 minutes before sunset. So I've gone for a portrait orientation, 16 to 35 lens. I've got a 2-stop soft-edged ND grad to hold the sky back and a 6-stop ND filter to slow the exposure down. And at the moment, f11 and 5 seconds should give me a good exposure. It's a little bit dark, but the shadows should be recoverable, and I'm not blowing the highlights, which is good. Getting a fair bit of spray coming off of the water. It's not enough to soak things, but it's just enough to put a fine mist on the filters, so I have to keep checking them, cleaning them, otherwise I'm going to end up with a hazy image. We're still 10 minutes from sunset. Not sure if that sky is going to light up or not. Okay, so I went back down to the bottom of the dam just to have a look and see whether it was worth shifting my composition to down there. But it's got a little bit breezy and there's lots of branches and sort of foliage all blowing around in the wind, and I just doesn't work for me. So I think I'm going to stay where I am. We are now at official sunset, so the next 15 to 20 minutes will tell me whether we're going to get a nice colourful sky or not. Keeping my composition pretty much the way I said I was, and just hoping for the light. And of course, periodically checking the filters. Okay, so we're 20 minutes after sunset now. I've carried on shooting here. I've taken, I don't know, maybe about 10 images just as the lights faded and it's got darker and the exposure time has gone up accordingly. I'm hoping that I've got at least one decent shot from here, maybe two, we'll have to see. There'll be hopefully something a little bit different from what I've shot here before. Even if I haven't, it's actually still great to be here. There's something about being sort of around this kind of scene when the water's crashing down that really just appeals to me. I just love it. It's a shame there's not more big waterfalls in this part of Spain, but maybe some travelling in the coming year. We'll have to see. So in a few minutes I'm going to pack up, but I'm going to call the video now. If something happens, I'll come back to you, but I don't think it's going to. Like always, I'll just remind you, if you haven't already subscribed, now will be a great time to do so. Likes and shares are always appreciated, and I'd love to hear from you. Comments down below, please. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos, and I'd just like to say thank you very much for that, and until the next video, bye.